VTubes, on the Odyssey, on the Twitch, and on the Kick. Alright, and let's see if that actually gets us going. Hey, what do you know? Things are looking good so far. Hey, no one allowed you. Stop that. Better. Hello, Streamlabs. Good to see that you're functioning properly today. Alright, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and hop over to desktop one. Alright. I'll be starting soon. Just gotta make sure we're actually playing back properly, and as soon as we do, we can go. Jeez, my mouse is lagging. I think I might be abusing my computer a little bit with all of this. Bum 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 do 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 bum 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 dun 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 dee. Oh, I should probably hop over here. Get my Rumble chat going. And then we can hide both of those and make a little bit more space on the desktop. Hooray! Uh-oh. We got feedback. Where's the feedback coming from? And volume mixer. Where's it coming from? And volume mixer. Tell me, boys, where's it coming from? Right there. Found it. Tell me, boys, where's it coming from? Right there. Found it. Right there. Ha. The joys of multi-streaming is that you have even more places to look for accidental playbacks. But we got that taken care of. Nothing to worry about. Alright, I think that's good. Hey, Mystic Blade Works! Hope you don't mind me being bringing Gay Bulge for some stabbing action. Nah, Gay Bulge is absolutely 100% approved. As long as we're talking about the version from Symphogear. Although I guess the one from the Fate series. There we go. I thought Fate, and I'm like, wait, no, Fate is Fate Testarossa, and then I'm like, wait, no, right, it is Fate. Fate Stay Night. Unless you're of the Prisma Ilia variety, which is also acceptable. Anyway, let's copy that. Post. We can close the... Actually, that just looked weird. I would need to go back to X for a second. Okay, yeah, no. It went properly. And let's hop over into the Discords. Death Worlder. And grab the Rumble link as well. Boom. And drop that into the Discords. There we are. That's taken care of. Do we need anything? No, we can close that. We can close that. Huh? It's not getting any playback. But anyway, Mr. Blaybrooks, how are you doing today? Things going well for you? Not treating you too harshly? It's fine. Cool. Cool. Where is that button? Hubble. There we go. Yeah, anyway, you joined me for a wonderful chapter of Memories of Creature 88. It's a dark chapter. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and effect. Let's toss in a normalize to get the audio levels correct. Whoa! Wrong button. Effect, normalize. There we are. That's the way we should be normalizing. Now, export screens, not memes, memories of Creature 88, Creature 10, Creature 10.m4a. Able to clear Thunderbolt full armor expert by the edge of my teeth. I don't think that's the correct way of using that idiom, but awesome. Yeah, I need to get back and actually work on that. But before we do that, let me get Hubble back up here. There we go. And yep, hop over onto my calendar. Yeah, so my problem is I've got SD Gundam G Generation Eternal recorded out to August 11th. My narrations, I've got these 3 edited but not yet uploaded. These 3 are recorded but not yet edited, which is what we're going to be doing. And I need to do some Arusu install for Tuesday and Thursday. So yeah, basically the plan is, yeah, then I also need to do some Senran Kagura Peach Ball. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff for me to do before I actually get back to there. Unless I run out of time, the plan is, and you've dived deep into the Uma rabbit hole. Oh, how are the horsey waifus treating you? Alright, there we go. That has finished exporting. Let's hop in here, make an audio track, and go not to one shots, but Memories of Creature 88, Creature 10, Creature 10 M4A. Drop it there, ripple delete, home, select, filters, text rich, text color, good, background color, good, select, perfect. Just got a decent trained horse girl in your roster. Nice! Which one is she? And most importantly, is she your waifu? 1728. Yes. 96 on that offset. Type in a few letters. 30. And yeah. And now we get to delve into what is the absolute darkest chapter of Memories of Creature 88. Yeah, I should be recording. Alright, no, I guess I will just I'll do the editing, but I won't export it. Because I still need to record a disclaimer at the start of this one, or a warning, content warning, or something like that. Because, yeah, this chapter gets dark. It gets real dark. Main character's doing bad things. Dadaru, Rice Shower. Is it Rice Shower or Rice Shower? Has a decent winning ratio in PvP. Oh, nice. Nice. But yeah. I am, yeah. The main character of this chapter does really bad things and justifies it as if he's doing good. And if somebody is an idiot watching this, shower as in rain shower. Okay. Or as in taking a shower. So she gets showered in rice. She's not like someone that comes over to you and says, Master, take a look at the rice that I've made. Isn't it nice? I want to show off my rice. But yeah. Very dark, very messed up chapter today. And definitely neither myself, the narrator, nor the author endorses the logic of the chapter, because, believe it or not, people are actually able to make dark and bad characters without that justify themselves without believing the frickin' justification itself. I know, hard to imagine. Alright. So let's get to work. 384. Lovely. That's a terrible number. Let's just do 400. That'll be fine. That leaves us with 680, which is going to be a 340 offset. Perfect. Nope. Here, bud. Yes, here, bud. And select all. Full justify. Actually, Mystic Blade, since you're here, what is more readable for you? Option 1, full justification, or option 2, left justification? Does it make a difference? I am used to full justification being generally considered the readable option. And that it looks nicer as opposed to having all the jaggies of left justification. Full. Awesome. That's what I've been doing recently, and that's what I'm going to stick with. Thank you for your opinion. Pride swelled within Vincent out over the crowds. The chanting masses weren't here for him, but he'd been a part of the organization since the beginning. He had helped it grow into the power it was today, as much as the great Eternal himself. Vincent could barely hear anything over the chanting of the crowds who had come to hear the message, then joined the rally. All across the walls were the double S. One flipped backwards, so they were pressed back to back. Double E's or double S? Double E's. Oops. Oh, wow. I made a mistake right at the very start of the recording. Amazing. There. Oh. I'll put to here. Mystic, if you're on earbuds, watch out, or if you're on headphones, watch out for a second, just in case this goes loud. It shouldn't, but it might. Rice showers, a traditional wedding ceremony in Japan. When the newlyweds come out of the shrine, the guests throw uncooked rice towards them as a way to bless them with good fortune and fertility. Yeah. It happens in other cultures too. Throw rice at the newlyweds. Some people throw pennies at the newlyweds. Pride swelled within Vincent's heart as he looked out over the crowds. The chanting masses weren't here for him, but he'd been a part of the organization since the beginning. He had helped it grow into the power it was today, as much as the great Eternal himself. Vincent could barely hear anything over the chanting of the crowds who had come to hear the message and join the rally. Alright, so there. Start at 24, good. All across the walls were the double S. Right? All across the Oops. That doesn't work. You. All across the walls were the double E's. There. Perfect. We can unmute. Down mix. Take you, slide you a bit to the left. That looks good. Effect, normalize, apply normalization, tracks, mix and render. Oh, I need both selected. There we go. Tracks, mix and render. And join the rally. All across the walls were the double E's. One flipped backwards, so I need effect, normalize. Let's push you down. Actually, is there a gain effect? Graphic Q amplify? Amplification dB. Now let's give you a -6. New peak amplitude will be -9. Okay, okay. No, that was too much. Effect, amplify. Let's do a amplification that's just -3. And join the rally. All across the walls were the double E's. One flipped backwards, so they were pressed back to back. He saw more than... Perfect. There we are. There we are. Save. That didn't change the length, but yeah. Export. Creature 10. Nope, not VS. Not VS. Creature 10 V2. There we are. Export. And let's that continue going. In the meantime, we can delete that one. Wait the 30 seconds for this to finish rendering. Maybe give my CPU a little increase in its pump to keep it from getting too toasty. Yes, here, let me put up the privacy curtain for a moment. Specky, run as admin. Let's see, it'll tell us some stats like CPU temp and that good stuff. Oh, it's not bad. Average is hanging out at 50. Good. Good. Alright, Hubble we can turn off, and good. This finished rendering. Also, Mr. Bladeworks, what do you think of the VTuber avatar that I've got now? Doesn't specifically have a name, but it's, just my avatar. My artist called it Wing Boy, which is funny because do have a few things I can do with it. I can put on a hat. I got a hat. I can put on a mask. I can put on the hat, the mask, and have half my face go red. Ooh, or go dark with a red eye. Ooh, can do it without the mask also. Also, I can shamelessly steal the wings from that Shido used when he stole the powers from the twins, from the Yamai twins. Cool little animation as they go in and out. Woo! But yeah, fun little thing I got there. All right, that finished going, so let's hop in here and open up V2. Ripple delete, perfect. Walls were the double E's. Flipped backwards, so they were pressed back to back. He saw more than a few people holding up signs with the same symbol upon it, or the 88, which had come to mean the same thing. E, the eternal evolutionaries. Nope, not on that track, on that track. Perfect. There we are. And now we get to do the very long and very boring work of editing this stuff. Yay. Make sure we're saved. We are saved. Good. Let's get going. One little bit at a time. 720, so I guess we go to 730. And that needs 350, so 175. Did you know Daiwa Scarlet and Vodka are rivals in real life? They have 3 wins and 3 draw between each other, and whenever they were in the same race, they will try to outdo each other. Fun fact, Daiwa's owner told Cygames to make her prettier and bustier than Vodka if they want to have her in the game. Nice. Evolutionary. Vincent was the youngest member of the Eternals Council, and yet the most trusted. He ran the Eternal Enforcers, and followed the will of the Eternal without question. It was just a wonder to him that he'd been here in this point in time, to watch history unfold around him. Soon, the Great Eternal would come out and give his speech, and even more people would join the ranks. Nothing would stop the party from sweeping through the next elections. Then they could start shipping those filthy immigrants back where they came from. This land didn't belong to them. It belonged to these proud patriots who had enough of their bullshit pushed upon them by the globals. We got to expand. Let's make that bigger. And yeah, we got lots to do. Hang on, before making it over to the edge. Yeah. This chapter is 45 minutes long. I don't know if we're gonna get more than just that done today. Yay. Alright, let's minimize, go there. We've already changed that stuff. So, hop on over here. Zoom in a bit. One more. That's good there. Joe the Brick, little tiny baby man. I can get bigger if you'd like. Whoops. Woo! Yeah. I don't want the avatar taking up too much of the space. But he has wings! He can fly! I can turn that off. Green Edgeworth. Okay, that's not a bad one. The Eternal Evolutionary. Vincent was the youngest member of the Eternals Council, and yet the most trusted. He ran the Eternal Enforcers, and followed the will of the Eternal without question. It was just a wonder to him that he'd been here in this point in time, to watch history unfold. Time to all around him. Soon, the Great Eternal would come out and give his speech, and even more people would join the ranks. Nothing would stop the party from sweeping through the next elections. Then they could start shipping those filthy immigrants back where they came from. This land didn't belong to them. It belonged to these proud patriots who had enough of their bullshit pushed upon them by the global standard. He tried to think back on how he'd gotten to be here. It really had started more than a decade ago, when he'd been walking home with his dad. His family had owned a small grocery store on the edge of the city. They used to make good money from the factory workers, but once the world governments had turned into the global standard, in order to better adapt to the destruction from the climate change, things had gone to shit. Suddenly, filthy immigrants had moved over en masse to escape the red zones. Need more zoom in. And yeah, Joe the Brick, it should go without saying, we're editing a chapter that gets dark. And yeah, just because the protagonist of this chapter justifies the darkness of it, doesn't mean that either the narrator or the author endorse it. I assume you're mature enough to realize that, but YouTube folks, as in like the people that run the censorship on YouTube, oh, I know they definitely don't know it. Alright, there we go. Delete, and let's keep going. Not enough Oh, Joe the Brick, do not worry. The violence is coming. There, and 624, so I guess we go 640. We need 440, so you can go to 220. Perfect. Another fun fact, the reason Haru Urara had bad initial stats are due to in real life she never won a race. Up until her retirement, she had raced in 113 races with 0 wins, though she had coming close in a few. Another fun fact, she was so beloved and popular due to her never give up, and people used their betting tickets for her as a good luck charm while driving. The horse waifus. Filthy immigrants had been moved to escape the red zones. They were trying to take the whole place over. They didn't speak the language. They smelled. They often refused to follow the laws in place, demanding they be changed. They refused to adapt and integrate. They just wanted everyone who lived here to change their lives. It was bullshit. School had gotten harder since they hadn't been built for the sudden influx of new students, and many teachers now didn't know proper English either. Either way, one day when he was 10, he was walking back from the store with his dad at night. They'd locked up after cleaning, which had been quick since hardly anyone shopped there anymore. All the filthy immigrants haggled and wanted things to be cheap, and they didn't like the goods Dad kept. Vincent felt angry, seeing his dad's sad face each day as he counted the money, seeing the family business slipping away, despite being in their family for generations. Go, delete, and will we be able to squeeze both paragraphs in? Possibly. 816, yeah, we can do that. 830 leaves us 250, so we offset by 125. Despite generations, they'd gotten jumped by 2 of the damn foreigners. Vincent couldn't remember how they hadn't caught the horrible stench before, but it was too late either way. He tried to help his dad, tried to punch and kick, but instead they'd cracked a bat over his head, and when he woke up, his dad's body was next to him. They'd stabbed him and taken the $20 in his wallet. Vincent had never cried like that before. By the time they held the funeral, all his sorrow was gone, though. It was just anger. Rage. Unbridled and uninhibited. That's when he met the Great Eternal. Of course, back then he was just Eric. He had been an old friend of his dad's that he hadn't seen before. He was just Eric. Respect my authority! He had been an old that he hadn't seen before. He told Vincent about how this was all because of those immigrants, and the corrupt government that was forcing the proud cities of his homeland to change, just because other countries hadn't planned properly. They were forced to suffer because these lowlifes wouldn't integrate. That had been the first of many times young Vincent sought out Eric's words. He kept hearing others talk about bullshit, about freedom and human decency. Those scum that stabbed his dad were human, and they didn't deserve any decency. Delete, move on, copy. Yeah, anyway, how you been doing, Joe? Things treating you well? I was helping run the audio visual for a private movie screening. That was fun. And basically I just set it up, and then I got my laptop, remoted into my computer at home, and managed to edit 2.5 videos. You've been good. That's good to hear. Yeah. Did you know that when the stable when Haru Urara is currently living in told that people can donate to her by buying ryegrass for her, it exploded that currently people have donated 25 tons worth of grass for her? Didn't deserve. His mom had to sell the store a few months later. If it had been bad before, it was even worse now. He always remembered those faces. All those customers who'd come in and start complaining about what they didn't have, or insist they could get something cheaper elsewhere, and demand a better price in broken English. School deteriorated after that. His teachers kept sending him to counseling, and then the principal, as he started fights. He'd get the shit kicked out of him because there were way more immigrants, but he always threw the first punch. He wasn't scared. He wouldn't put up with their shit. They finally expelled him when he was 16 because he'd gotten smarter. He recruited other kids like him. They were real sons of real locals, and they wouldn't let their school get twisted and warped into some multicultural bullshit. That's when he got really effective. He had the immigrant kids so scared, it didn't matter that he was outnumbered. And so, the bullshit faculty kicked him out. His mom really needed his help anyway, so he didn't give a shit. Toss in a comma there. His mom really needed his help anyway, so he didn't give a shit. No. I read it without the comma. We will continue seeing it without the comma. They didn't teach him anything. Working shit. They didn't teach him anything anyways. Go. Delete and move on. And yes, we've got 14 more pages of this. Hoo-hoo-hoo. We are going to be here for a while. Actually, also, let me toss up the screen for a second Rumble folks, we're going private because I need, or we're going premium because I need premium hours. I need dashboard. Let's see here. 2.7 more premium hours. So yeah. Rumble only, going premium. Update stream. Lots of words to be seen. Yes, very, very many words to be seen. We are. That has been upgraded to private stream. And we can get back to editing. Here we go. This help. Forgot to offset that 350, so that needs a 175. Perfect. That's why it was looking wrong previously. 75. Let's get back here. What do we have? Factory. B, boom, boom. We can't get an extra. Oh, we could get an extra one. Copy. Paste. Perfect. I won't bother squeezing another one in there. 175. Looking good. Backtrack. His help. He didn't give a shit. They didn't teach him anything anyways. Working in the factory had been good at first. Locals still worked there, and they worked hard. He was proud to work alongside the real residents of his homeland, not the refugees and filthy terrorists who had started to mess it all up. But that changed when he was 17. He was in the pay office collecting his paycheck for the week. It was him, Greg, and Shithead. Shithead was an immigrant with some stupid fucking name, so the locals just called him Shithead. Mostly because he stunk. But at least he was quiet, kept to himself, unlike some of the new immigrant hires. Greg had gotten his envelope first, and as he opened it, he and Vincent both saw the pink slip inside. You're fucking firing me? I've been with the company for 20 years! What the fuck? He slammed his hand on the table, as the new foreman, some skinny slant-eye who had replaced old Mr. Kim the month before. You're too expensive. There are more citizens coming in from zones who'll work for half the price. Home, delete, copy, paste. Can we do an extra line? No. Trim you down a bit. 720, take you to 730. What? Oh. Forgot to delete that. That's why. So it'll be probably 680? Perfect. Which means we take that to 200. There are more citizens. Zones will work for half the price. I've got 3 kids to feed. Not to mention my dad lost his social security while the pieces of shit back in the capital merged our great country with this. 4. Too expensive. There are more citizens coming in from the red zones who will work for half the price. I've got 3 kids to feed. Not to mention my dad lost his social security while the pieces of shit back in the capital merged our great country with this global standard shit. Not my concern. Greg was pissed, and Vincent was too. Then he opened his own envelope and read the slip. You cut my pay? Well, I pay you more than fresh citizens either. Being local is not my concern. Vincent pulled his knife out. He just used it to cut open boxes, but as shithead reached for his envelope, Vincent slammed the blade into his palm. The man screamed in pain as he found his hand pinned to the table. Looks to me like you're a fresh citizen. Work no more. Sure you want to hire more? And there is the first of the actual atrocities. Like, previously he was just a bully. Now he's gone bad. Not that bullying isn't bad, but we're talking different levels of bad. 528, I guess we go 540, which is another 540, perfect. 270 is the offset. To me, like you can't work no more. Sure you want to hire more? The foreman blinked in surprise and reached for the phone, but Greg slugged him and then picked up the phone, jumping over the table as he started to bash the foreman's skull in. Shithead was clutching his hand, wide-eyed with fear. Vincent pulled the knife free of his palm and growled, "Get the bad to the bone." Why? Vincent pulled the knife free of his palm and growled, "Get the fuck out of here. Don't come back." Then Vincent rushed out into the factory floor screaming out, "They're firing all the locals! They're firing all the locals! Don't give them the chance! Fuck the filthy immigrants up!" The workers were surprised, but they saw Shithead running out of the office, clutching his bleeding hand, and then Greg stepped out of the office with an armful of envelopes. Can we get 2 paragraphs in? I think we can. Boom, 816, perfect. Take you to 130. And that's a 250, so a 125 offset. Good. Go.
And then in office with an armful of envelopes. The locals have pink slips. The immigrants don't! All hell broke loose then, as the locals, who were already tired of pay cuts and more hours, started to attack the immigrants. Vincent was smiling and proud as they started to do something to take back their factory. The factory shutdown lasted for 6 months after that. Vincent was outside with the other locals every day, fighting, punching, and kicking. They kept those filthy fuckers out until management caved. Every day, his mom asked him not to go, saying it wasn't what his dad would have done, that violence wasn't the answer. But he knew she was just worried about him. He'd show her he could provide. He'd make his mom proud soon. He spent plenty of nights at Eric's house, learning more about how the world worked. It all made so much sense when Eric explained it to him. Politicians didn't believe in evolution. That was it. When the climate began to change and when strife ravaged those shitholes overseas, that was just part of evolution. Survival of the strongest. Instead, they tried to stop it. They wanted humanity to stagnate and stall, so they let in the refugees. They tried to even out shelters and make the locals pay to bring the damn immigrants over. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we're just grabbing 2 smaller paragraphs this time, because the next one's a long one. Down 480, I guess 490. That gives us 600, that gives us 590? Yeah, 590, so 295. There we go. Yay, mental math, hooray! Who knew that you would need math when you're narrating science fiction? Locals picked damn immigrants over. When the Navy should have been blowing those refugee ships out of the water, they were instead helping them make it over. Vincent's homeland had been full of prosperity and wealth, so they prepared for the worst of the weather, and they'd survived the big change. So, all those dumb fucks living in the red zone deserved to die. That's how evolution worked. Eric made so much sense. He'd also noticed how Vincent was crucial in the factory shutdown. He was young, but he kept everyone focused. He rallied the locals and knew that violence was the answer, not talking. What good had talking done them? Every time they asked the others to integrate, they didn't. Time for asking was over. Boom, copy. What in the math? Yes, math. The greatest ally. Hang on, got a text message. Nope. Nothing important. We can ignore it. Boom. Boom. Alright, good. That can be safely set up. There. Time for asking was over. Perfect. Delete. Let's move on to the next one. Paste. 672. I guess we can do 680. And that'll be fine. And 200 offset. Boom. Boom. They did it. Time for asking was over. After that, Vincent had started organizing other kids around his age, and even older guys who were pissed off at being fired, because they weren't willing to work as cheap as the immigrants. Every cultural event that was hosted in the city, every parade that wasn't based on local traditions would get a visit. The cops would catch some of his team, but some of the cops also didn't chase them too hard. Vincent remembered how great it had felt to smash a bat over the head of some stinking priest, or whatever he was, during some parade, and watching the filthy shits run for the alleys, only to be met by more locals with clubs. They were getting the lesson that if they wanted to celebrate their culture, then they'd have to do it back in the refugee camps, because the locals were done sharing their city with immigrants. His mom looked sick every time he left, but he always promised her that he'd come home safe, that the cops wouldn't catch him, and that he'd provide for her. She'd weakly nod and try to smile, but she seemed sad. Promised to make more money so she wouldn't be so sad. Talk about missing the missing the whole point right there. Anyway, Xenomorph, good to see you. Glad you could stop by. Glad you caught me. Alright, boom. Another chunky paragraph. Yeah. We only got enough space for the paragraph. 576, we'll go to 590. Need to add a 490, which will be 245. She seemed sad. Promised to make more money so she wouldn't be so sad. The only rule he had for his gang was no killing. He remembered what happened to his dad, and he wouldn't let that happen to anyone else, immigrant or not. Of course, by that point they stopped calling them immigrants, since technically there was only one big country now. He'd started calling them flies, because as he put it, they were annoying as hell, there were a fuck ton of them, and they seemed to be attracted to eating shit. He remembered how his gang had laughed when he first said that. Eric had as well. By this point, he'd started inviting more people to Eric's house to listen to him speak. Eric had become a speaker for the locals, elected to the city council. It didn't matter too much since the rest of the council was full of either those dumb fuck appeasers who thought the flies deserved mercy, and flies themselves, who of course were never happy. They always wanted the city to look more like their old home. Well, fuck that. It's 8 a.m. where you are, and you are not okay. Oh no!
What is wrong, Xenomorph? We're gonna have a short paragraph because we definitely won't fit the long one in there. Shorter and shorter. And we'll take you to not 305, 350. That's better. And we need 730. So 350, 365. There we go.
The city to look. Oh, fuck that. Democracy was subverted when the locals who had every right to live peacefully in their home had all those refugees forced upon them. If the system didn't take into account the fact that locals should have more say, then Vincent would.
You're a night owl and not an ass crack of the sun person. I feel you, buddy. It is 11:30 p.m. and I fully agree. I have the same convictions there.
The Fly stopped trying to host cultural events. He and his crew took to overseeing elections.
Oops, no, would see to it himself. Around the time the Flies stopped trying to host cultural
subverted when the locals lived peacefully in their home had all those refugees forced upon them. If the system didn't take into account the fact that locals should have more say, then Vincent would see to it himself.
There. Vincent would see to it.
Around the time the Flies stopped trying to host cultural events, he and his crew.
Comma. Overseeing elections. Most of them could.
So I let them vote. Cracking skulls felt even better when it meant the locals got more officials.
City government. Oof, you didn't sleep last night? Oh, that is terrible. That is very, very bad. Yeah, I didn't get to sleep last night until around 3 a.m. So, yeah, I feel you guys. I feel you. Kinda altered my schedule around today to deal with the whole going to sleep late, so slept in a bit. City government, and good. We got a nice big chunky paragraph here. Always better to have bigger ones. They give us more things to do. 640. We need to drop another 440, which will be 220. 20. Beautiful.
Better when it meant the locals could city government. For a while, some other locals were a bit worried about how extreme people like Eric and Vincent were. But then
Zip, did you say you're number one or you're null? What are you gonna about the brick? Xenomorph, are you sure you're not having a stroke? I think you may be having a stroke.
It meant the locals got more government. For a while, some other locals were a bit worried about how extreme people like Eric and Vincent were. But then the quake had hit. It was some sort of massive freak event, the scientists said, but it left most of the city in ruins. Even more locals were left without jobs, and the insurance companies, now being regulated by the fucking global standard, could only give them a fraction of their policy payouts. But the Flies got mountains of government money to build the city more in the style of their own. That was the last straw for many locals. Eric had been brilliant when he instigated the building council. They didn't have the votes to push it through at first, but then Vincent had paid a visit to the homes of some of the others.
Through at first. Come on. You. Huh?
Paid a visit to the others, and while they didn't vote for it, they couldn't vote against it from hospital bed. Soon, he wasn't just some thug. He had a city position. He was a building inspector.
He was a building inspector. What's that?
The year old who gives a fuck store back over in the red zone? Sorry, it doesn't mean
code. All construction is halted. No, you're not having a stroke. But maybe Joe is. I don't know. Joe seems to be the one that's able to type coherently. Xenomorph, you're the one that's having some trouble typing. Construction halted. Can we grab 2 paragraphs? Be nice if we could. Paste, boom. Drop a line, 760. Yep, we'll just do 780 with a 150 offset. Perfect.
Doesn't meet the new construction is halted. Plenty of locals across the old country lines thought it was a genius idea. Other cities began starting their own building councils. That's when Eric realized this wasn't just one city being fed up with all the flies, and a government that no longer represented them. This was a national thing. Or, not national, but it fit within the
boundaries of the old nation.
Had been born in. What he considered his...
But it fit with
the old nation. The place Vincent had been born in. What he considered his homeland. Then, Eric had become the Eternal.
The place
What he considered his homeland. Then, Eric had become the Eternal. Vincent still remembered that night very clearly. They'd been celebrating another closure of some cultural building in the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been selected thanks to his skull bashing.
Did I... with Eric and some other politicians that had been selected. Darn it. Are you sure? No, I'm Brick. Because I'm number one. Fine, if you insist. No. Are you, a real villain? Technically, nah. Have you ever caught a good guy? Like a real superhero? Nah. Have you ever tried to disguise? Nah. All right. I can see that I'll have to teach you how to be villains. Hey, we are number one. Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history. If you want to be a villain number one, you have to chase a superhero on the run. Just follow my moves and sneak around. Be careful not to make a sound. Shh, no, don't touch that. But yeah, here and now. Yes, unfortunately, we are number one just does not sound good without backing tracks. So yeah, we are number one. We are number one. And yeah, I'm not gonna pull up audio because that's a great way to get myself claimed. You keep getting censored? Oh, come on. Lame YouTube censorship. All right.
Closure of the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been selected.
All right, now comes the question. Can I edit the S out? Not from here. All right, let's go to 1430. Not too far. 17, 16, 15, 1430. All right. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been selected. Building in the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected. Nah, it doesn't work. No. Kill the spammer, kill the spammer, kill the spammer, do do do. Bad. There we go. Spammer has been banned. Let's flatten you. Let's go trough to trough. Flatten. Take the background. Copy. Let's make a track. New stereo track. Drop you right there. On this one. And then let's go to... I know it would have been faster just to re-record it, but still. Hang on. There we are. Okay. Take you... Alright. Now let's see if this one sounds terrible or not. Also, what is that Top Hat dude? Top Hat dude is my VTuber avatar. Woo! I had to go back at 2x to hear you mess up. I know, I included an S. They were elected, but I wrote selected. Yeah. Also, he's got wings. Woo! I got wings. Also, if I really want to get darn serious, boom. All right. Let's see what this sounds like. Elected. Oh? Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Zoom out. What he considered is he was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected thanks to... No, I did that terribly. Okay. Half demon, half angel looking. Now, definitely not going for a half demon, half angel. It is half tuxedo mask, half Shido from Date Alive. That is the inspiration. 25% different from either of them, so it's legally distinct. But yeah, okay, that effect absolutely sucked. It did not succeed whatsoever. So, we can just back. Alright, we'll just need to re-record the line. Lame. Half demon, half angel, half Edgewords, half Top Hat person. Half. He was sitting around with Eric. Alright, let's get you over there. Let's get you pulled back up. And here. Okay. Mute. Let's make that a little bigger. Okay. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected thanks to his skull bashing. Let's slow it down a little bit. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected thanks to his skull bashing. Perfect. Just so you know, I will be commenting about this. All right, let's unmute. Go from you to you. Actually, here. You get deleted. You get flattened if you weren't already flattened. You get flattened. And yeah. Select both tracks, mix and render. And now we see if things sound right. Vincent still remembered that night very clearly. They'd been celebrating another closure of some cultural building in the city. He was sitting around with... Let's apply effect, amplify, amplification, and new peak amplitude. Let's set you to -3. No, new peak amplitude of -6 there. Cultural building in the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected. Nope. We will do effect, amplify, and we'll just do a straight -6 on the amplification instead. Cultural building in the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected thanks to his skull bashing. Hey, we actually pronounced it properly this time. Even if the skull bashing came out a little bit weird, but whatever. Export creature 10 v3. Save. Export. And we gotta wait for that to go. But yes, I am now a filthy VTuber. Mind you, to be fair, it is a very basic VTuber model, as opposed to some of the really fancy ones that you get, like the VTuber girls have. Those are kind of crazy. It's just a really simple model. I can sway side to side, open my mouth, blink my eyes. Here, let me turn off. Blink my eyes, close, open, close, open. There we go. That finished rendering. Let's get back here. Delete. Open. Creature 10. Pride. Not Creature 10 M4A. Creature 10 V3. Ripple delete. And let's see if we actually pronounce elected correctly this time. Make a knife avatar. I know, I should make a knife avatar. Just be the talking knife. The person who stabs books and turns them into sound. Vincent still remembered clearly. They'd been celebrating another closure of some cultural building in the city. He was sitting around with Eric and some other politicians that had been elected thanks to his skull bashing. Yes. Eric had been drinking a bit, but he began to talk. See, the thing is, the politicians in the global shithouse call us racists. They try to make it out like we're bigots who are all white. But I'm quarter black, and many of us come from different... Oh no. Oh no, I just realized. Eric is actually Quarter Black Garrett, if any of you guys know who Quarter Black Garrett is. Knife avatar with googly eyes. Xenomorph, you donate to that when Evelyn stops by, get a quote for it. And I will absolutely do it. Just be a knife with googly eyes. But yes, it turns out that Eric, the Grand Eternal, is none other than Quarter Black Garrett. Gasp! Shock! And many of us come from different old countries, and we have lots of different skin colors. This is really about locals wanting to keep what's theirs, to not be denied a future with all those flies buzzing around. Get to the top one. Perfect. Not you. Back to here. There's flies buzzing about. Boom. Alright. Can we grab 2 today? Let's see if that's reasonable, and by today, I don't mean today. I mean right now. Flies buzzing. He leaned forward and wagged a finger. A while back, the white supremacists had a fondness for 88. H is the 8th letter, and it stood for Hail Hitler, or whatever. And stream is now demonetized! but they were dumb as shit. That old Nazi party movement was wrong. Well, just in who they targeted. I mean, Jews, they're some of the smartest. Jews, gays, they're some of the smartest, hardest working Germans there were. We don't give a shit what your religion is, or what your skin color is, or who you fuck. We're just here to demand that locals keep their rights, keep their property, that the country they know and love doesn't disappear. We're fucking patriots. Vincent nodded, as did everyone else. They all praised Eric and wanted him to go on. I'm going to take 88, but for different reasons. You drop an 8 on its side, and it's the infinity symbol. That's what this needs to be. It's not about a flash in the pan movement. This is something infinite, something eternal. He nodded. Yeah, it's eternal. I'm eternal, because I'm more than a person now. You can all feel it. I embody an idea, a movement. I'm eternal. We're eternal. Eternal patriots. He was nodding.
Splendid. Ugh, politics. Oh, yes. And, let's just say it goes bad. It goes real bad. I mean, as you can tell, we're following the point of view of the people that are just like, hey, we should get an 88 tattooed on us. And yeah, I was joking. So I had a little bit of this spoiled. I didn't have the full details. But I was on a Discord group for HFY. And I was complaining about the fact that it is damn near impossible to find a picture of an 88 tattoo that isn't that 88 tattoo. Because what it means in general is, like they said here, H is the 8th letter, so 88 means HH, which is the Nazi salute. So yeah, or the Nazi greeting, I guess. But yeah, let's just say things clearly get bad. Because you thought you were following a normal dude, and now you realize you're following the point of view of a neo-Nazi. Or kind of a neo-Nazi. They clearly hate the Nazis, which is good, as you should, but clearly drawing way too much inspiration from them. So yeah. Fascinating, I know. Terribly fascinating. Not at all the good kind of fascinating. Paste, boom, 1, 2, 3. Wonderful, exact same,
He was nodding. Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail. That's the thing. The flies are snakes. They're trying to consume us by eating our tail. Only instead, we'll eat their fucking tail. The snake eating the tail of the tail-eating snake. He got more animated as he said it. 88. Eternal. He trailed off as he tried to think. Then Vincent quickly exclaimed, Evolutionaries. Yes! Eric pointed at Vincent. Eternal evolutionaries! That's what we are. Our message is eternal, and our movement is about evolution. We must enforce our beliefs in the face of a world and government that tries to silence us. We'll sweep across the nation. Once we're in power, no more of the global standard
Once we're in power. Comma? Whoa, buddy. In general, it's just 2 8s. They took that for themselves. It's all... Honestly, I might stop watching after the reveal. It gets better. I can tell you that much. This chapter's bad, but I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that he reforms himself. So, yeah. Well, everybody, in general, it's just 2 8s. They took that for themselves. But yeah, I honestly do recommend you stick around because he does reform himself. So, there's that. If you don't feel comfortable with it, though, totally understand. This thing does get dark.
No more of the global shit. Locals only. If you came from a red zone, then you can fucking go back to a red zone. Deal with it. Yeah! Vincent jumped up. Fist in the air.
Oh, that was...
Fist in the air.
Fist in the air. It's just like... That was horrible. If I had a voice director, they would have caught that and said, no, go back and record it properly. But I don't have a voice director. So you get to keep the, awkward fist in the air. It's not just that, it's any politics. I totally understand. Now, I can't say it doesn't come back, but it is limited to this chapter. So, up to you. If you keep going with it, obviously I'd like to have you stick around, but if not, we still got the other
the other series that I'm working on. So,
Vincent, fist in the air. We survived the big change. They can go.
Oops, I didn't actually copy over the next paragraph. Copy over the next 2 paragraphs. Paste, boom. Go and backtrack. Call that a 690. We need to add a 400 minus 10, so call you 195. That looks right. Also want my HFY to be aliens, not human shit with different bodies. Yeah. I mean, chapters 1 through 9 were alien shit, and chapter 10 is backstory. And chapter 11 goes back to alien shit. So, yeah.
Vincent jumped in the air. We survived the big change. They can go back where they come from and do the same. They don't get to cheat. They can't avoid evolution.
He literally gets abducted at the end of the chapter. So, yeah.
Go back where they do the same. They don't get to cheat. They can't avoid evolution. Evolution is eternal, just like us. We must enforce survival of the fittest where the government refuses to. If they can't survive, then they don't deserve to. Our people, our home was great. It will be great again because of those who remain true.
This is written in 2015. You can certainly think he was... You convinced me to endure it, and that's all I ask of you. You could probably, honestly, even skip chapter 10 if you'd like, and you would be fine. I've read, like, the start of chapter 11. You could go from 9 to 11, skip the flashback that's chapter 10, and just kind of go in a bit blindly. And I think it would be fine.
Will be great again because of those who remain true to the old ideas. No more of these politicians who came from other places trying to push their ideals on us. No more weird food that smells like shit. Now we take back our country. He stood up then, as did everyone else, cheering and shouting at the idea. Vincent was a bit drunk, but he left the house right then, rushing to a tattoo parlor. He got 88 tattooed on his wrist and then stumbled back, waking Eric up in the middle of the night to show him. Eternal evolutionaries, you're like a father to me, Eric. You've shown me the light. You've helped provide for my mom.
Don't know what I'd do without you. We definitely can't squeeze 3 paragraphs in, so we stick to 2. Boom. Backtrack. 528 gets you to 540, and we offset by 270. Perfect.
Without you. Eric had been a little groggy, but he smiled, especially when he saw the tattoo. I'm no longer Eric. I'm the great eternal. And you, he pressed a finger on Vincent's chest, are my son and my enforcer. Vincent cried and hugged Eric. Now he'd really be able to provide for his mom, and locals all across the country. The old country that they'd remake would soon join up. He just knew it. The party had grown fairly quickly in the next few months. Soon would be the global elections, and he was positive they'd sweep all the locals into office once again. No more flies. They'd reclaim...
Wait. Soon join up. He just knew it.
Fairly quickly in the next few months.
Soon would be the global elections, and he was positive they'd sweep all the locals into office once again. Okay. Not fine-grained enough. All right. Let's jump to 1944. Okay. In the next few months. Soon would be the global elections, and he was positive they'd sweep all the locals into office once again. Once again. All right. Let's see if we can do a little finagling here. Say from you there, roughly. Office again. All the locals into office again. Nope. From there to there. Locals into office again. Nope. I'm just gonna leave it. Truly something. Yeah, the once really doesn't matter at all. It just bugged me. It was positive they'd in office once again. No more flies.
They'd reclaim their country and tell the global standard to fuck off. It was just a matter of time. That's what this rally was for. Eric looked out over the crowds back in his proper state of mind as he heard the chanting and felt energy.
So we can zoom out so we get better coverage here. We can actually see more of what's going on. Felt the energy, not messing with that. Delete and keep going. Some time ago, I started a series that was by an AI channel, but was good enough. But in the middle of it, the writer injected, oh boy, transmission fluid. Nobody wants transmission fluid. And I couldn't finish it. I watch for aliens. Yes. Not for who you vote for. Yes. Yeah. Shoot. I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was a story that I was reading on Royal Road. It was a bunch of fun. It was really interesting. Like, it was, shoot. I don't even have it saved anymore, but yeah, it was basically a dude that, just kept reincarnating, kept doing things over and over again, and then he started universe hopping, and the system was different in different universes. So he was able to get powers differently in different universes until ultimately they started introducing transmission fluid. And nobody wants transmission fluid in their power fantasy. So yeah, that's when I dropped it. Eric had been a little groggy. Good, we got that. Let's do 2 paragraphs again. It sounds sick until that. I know. It was a very fun thing. I mean, it was pretty high up there on Royal Road. Can't remember the title of it, though. 672, I guess let's put you at 680. That should be fine. 200. And felt the energy. When the Great Eternal came out, the crowd went wild. Vincent didn't even remember the speech. He just knew it was fantastic. The energy was insane. Tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, all chanting, all with the same purpose in mind. It was incredible and awesome in the most real sense. When it was all over, the Eternal had waved him over, calling him to his private room. They hadn't been alone since that night he'd started the party in earnest. Vincent, you're the only one I could trust with what I'm about to tell you. The government is moving against us. They fear us, fear our movement. They're trying to seize our funds, and they've made fake evidence to blackmail us with. I don't know when, but it won't be long. You must take some men who you trust and break into the bank. You need to destroy the evidence and steal as much money as possible. We need it to finish out this election. The fate of the party, of our movement, rests on you. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects the transmission fluid. Alright, we got that. Let's continue on. But yeah, what I remember is that there was a race of dwarf aliens and a race of elf aliens. And what happens with the dwarves is that with the dwarf aliens, is that they're great warriors and everything. And then, once they reach a certain age, they become female dwarves. So yes, all dwarves are born male and then become female. And the protagonist decided to sleep with one of them. And talk about how amazing it was. It's just like, no, stop that. Of our movement. Vincent raised his fist to display the tattoo on his wrist. I serve the Great Eternal. I will not fail. He left the office and quickly assembled his most trusted enforcers. They all had the same tattoo on their wrists now. Mostly they were ex-military, kicked out for speaking against letting so many old enemies join up in the same army, degrading their quality and unity. The enforcers would soon form the backbone of the evolutionary army that would rise up after the elections. He planned out the bank job. They'd go in late at night, minimum staff and customers. They'd seal it up quick, make it look like the place was closed, and then start cracking the safe and the deposit boxes inside. The security company the bank used was mostly run by evolutionaries these days. While hiring cheap fly labor was good for most businesses, security was a local deal. Even the bankers didn't trust the flies. Of course, this was their mistake to think that the locals would let them hire only flies and get rich and fat off the suffering of locals. What? Why? Mine was one dude and 2 alien girls from enemies salvaging a warship from the war together. So no hidden tech for either. So 3 dudes. Oh shoot, what was the there was a joke, I don't remember who it was from, but he says what's something that you vividly remember in your friendship? He's like, oh yeah, I remember my friend. He came to me saying, "It's a boy! It's a boy!" Oh, I remember that so vividly. We've never been back to Thailand since. Alright, let's get those two, and we got 9 pages left. I think we started with 16. So yeah, this is slow going, unfortunately. Wait, huh? Huh, what? 580, nah, we should do 590. Oh, we need 500. 245. Perfect.
Suffering. Vincent had it all planned out. Everyone had a job. Every angle was covered, and the plan was perfect. They moved in 3 nights after the rally. Unfortunately, the security guards weren't.
And over time, they befriend each other. And it turns out that one of the girls was a dude that wanted to be a girl. And of course, he sleeps with both of them. So he's gay. Or to ask the, or to quote the pastor, why are you gay? Such an exploitable clip. Tonight's episode, the writer's barely disguised fetish. There we are. Speaking of the writer's barely disguised fetish, you come across an enchanted piss forest. Golden pissy trees as far as the eye can pee. I, the wizard, have made the piss forest before you. Dare you enter my magical realm? Stop injecting your horrible fetishes into our game. I'm going to punch you. All right, you come across a bridge troll instead. To cross the bridge, you must pee into his mouth until he is... The bridge troll has graciously let you pass unpissed. And about your story, yeah, that's even worse, but I don't know, I immediately stopped watching after the twist. So yes, this is the comic about people upset about people injecting their fetish into the story and not even doing a good job of hiding it. Dare you enter my magical realm? Oh. Alright, whatever. That's even trying to hide. I think you mean that's not even trying to hide it. Oop, yeah. Not even trying to hide it. Yes. Not at all disguised fetish.
This was the locals would let them hire only flies and get rich and fat off the suffering of locals. Vincent had it all planned out. Everyone had a job. Every angle was covered, and the plan was perfect. They moved in 3 nights after the rally. Unfortunately, the security guards weren't evolutionaries, so they had to be knocked out. Mostly it was flies inside, trying to deposit money from their low-paying jobs that they'd stolen from hardworking locals. They'd sealed up the entrance and gotten everyone moved into the back offices quickly. It was all going according to plan, right up until a second-in-command looked over the hostages. Why don't we have
some fun with these two?
Jaeger nodded at 2 teen girls near the back. One was a bank teller, pale skin, blonde hair. The other was a fly.
Female. Blonde and brunette are one of the very few adjectives in the English language that are gendered. Blonde without the E is male. Blonde with the E is female. Also, FYI, the Twitch thing covers the bottom, so we know C-E. Oh! Yes, let me go fix that. Dare you enter my magical realm? Perfect. There. To cross the bridge, you must pee into his mouth until he is... The bridge troll has graciously let you pass unpissed. Blonde is gendered. Yes! Blonde is, in fact, gendered. B-L-O-N-D-E is feminine. Only women can be blonde. B-L-O-N-D, without the E, is masculine. Only men can be blonde. Same thing with brunette. B-R-U-N-E-T-T-E is feminine. Only women can be brunettes. B-R-U-N-E-T, brunette, is masculine. Man, just shave everyone whose hair is of that color. That's what I wanted to see, his eye black. Yes, he got punched. Got punched hard. Ginger? So, speaking of gingers... do you know why redheads keep getting replaced with black people in Hollywood? The answer is because there is one old, dyslexic, and racist casting director that, because of union seniority, is responsible for all casting decisions in all of Hollywood. And so, some director says, all right, I need a ginger for this role. And you know, this guy, he looks at the request sheet and he says, well, I see you need a N-I-G. Oh my! Ginger side. But yes, ginger side is a real thing. Yes, I got you. But yeah, I guess fundamentally redheads and black people, according to Hollywood, are just the same thing. So, yeah, they are. Yeah, whatever. But yes, ginger side is a real thing in Hollywood. All right, back to work. Because once we wrap up, I still need to upload tomorrow's episode, Chapter 9 of Memories of Creature 88. Although, stop laughing or I'm taking more of your cut. I'm sorry.
Pale blonde hair. The other was a fly. Had scarf thing, dark features, but pretty good looking even so.
Oops. We need more. Take you to 640, which needs us to have 440, which is just an even 220. Joe the Brick, I'm gonna shave Xenomorph. You be careful there. He might have a second mouth pop out of his mouth and bite you while you try to shave him.
Dark feature, pretty good looking even so. What do you mean? Vincent asked.
I mean, even if you did misspell Xenomorph, but I guess there's got to be a story behind why you're Xenomorph with a Z instead of Xenomorph with an X. Care to share? We're at 720, so we'll just take that to 740. We can add 340, so 170. Joe the Brick, okay, I'll attach a razor to a really long metal stick. I always forget that that's what I picked for my name.
So, Vincent asked, I mean, come on. You know the flies breed like crazy. That's why there's so many of them. I bet she'd be fun. Probably sucks her husband dick every night. She's used to being oppressed, and I wouldn't mind oppressing her all night long. Vincent felt uneasy as he watched his friend's face, even with the ski mask on. When I planned this all out, did the whiteboard have a section of the plan that said rape hostages? Hey, come on, don't you dare use my fucking name! Fuck. Sorry, Mr. Pink. Everyone had balked at using colors for names, and especially pink. So Vincent had taken it to shame them all into accepting the color he gave them.
Your name wasn't always Joe the Brick. Well, I assume that's not... The reason is because Xenomorph was taken. Fair enough. I assume that you were not born Joe the Brick. I'm assuming at some point you were Joe the Baby before becoming a Joe the Brick.
Them all into accepting them. This job is going to be...
That's, yeah. Right. Come on, the do I A. Perfect. 768, take you to 780. And you just need 150. Good. Sad, no, you don't get it, you see. Nah, he was Joe the Shingle, then he grew up more. Little Joe Shingle grew up into Joe Brick.
Whatever. This job is going to be fucking clean. No one dies, no one gets raped. If you have time to rape hostages, that means you aren't doing your fucking job. This is what the masks are for. This is why we knock the guards out instead of shooting them. And this is why we're doing it late at night. This is just a robbery. We take some money, we get the fuck out. He hadn't told them about the blackmail evidence, just that the party desperately needed money. Come on, the alarms are all cut, and the cops aren't going to be rolling by. Who's going to know? The fuck do you mean who's going to know? The girls you raped, the other hostages. Do you want to get identified in a lineup? I'll keep the mask on.
What about your dick? We know who the semen belongs to, Robert. Anyway, Xenomorph, if you weren't interested in politics, how about some religion? I got something for you there if you want. Pfft, real, you're not the father. There, drop you there. Can we get another 2, 3, 4? I'll see if we can squeeze the next one in. We'll need to add 5 lines, but that no. No more enough. Sorry, I haven't seen Gravity Falls, so if that's a specific way of saying no more enough, then yeah, I'm not familiar with it. Perfect. We got exactly 4 lines in there. About your Jesus, Mr. Pink. The hostages are almost all flies. We can just ice them and be done with it. Vincent glanced around at the other Eternal Enforcers. He saw the nods. He saw the look in their eyes. Javier, Terry, Lopez, Kowalski, Jamal. Every one of them in the office with him and the hostages were looking at the hostages with cruel intent. They were looking at the women like cattle, aside from Lopez and Kowalski, who were looking at some of the male hostages. No! You did Kowalski dirty! Arthur, how dare you do Kowalski dirty like that? Google enough Bill Cipher, okay? Enough Bill Cipher. Two-dimensional, interdimensional dream demon from the now destroyed dimension Euclidia. Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about Gravity Falls. Haven't seen even a single episode. I've seen pictures of these characters somewhere. I think their last name is Pines. That's all I know. Dorito. Also, Stabby, for 900 time, can you add the text to something that you can auto-center it? This is auto-centered now. Or I guess it's just permanently centered. So, not sure what your question is there. Male hostages. They didn't see anything wrong with taking what they wanted. He'd need to set them straight once this was over. He was going to lead honorable men into battle. Locals who wanted to make their home great again. Not rapists and butchers who were using this as an excuse to do whatever they wanted without... Xenomorph on a crusade to auto-center all text. Center. I mean, if you want, I could do center justification, but honestly, I think that looks terrible. So I just go with full justification, since I think that looks nicer. But yeah. I think center justification is just a pain to read, in my opinion. Is you just don't get the lines nicely. You get weird divots, bumps, and everything. You go in, you go out, you go in, you go out. Very not conducive to reading. Unless there's some other centering that you're talking about. An excuse to do a repercussion. No one dies tonight. We're now behind schedule because you stupid fucks are getting hard thinking about getting a piece of ass. Now get back to the fucking plan. Now get back to the fuck. I just added a now. Wasn't in the script. I just embodied the main character too much and get back to the getting a piece of ass. Now get back to the fucking plan. Now! What I mean is, can you center the text box so you don't have to do the math? Oh, vertically? Unfortunately, no. No vertical centering that I can do. Fortunately, my mental math is fast, so, yeah. Unless, wait, did I not have a... Did I not have a way of vertically centering? I thought I did. Alright, 1 second. Let's switch you over, call you 75. Now you're not centered. Add an extra filter. Stop that. Size, position, rotate. Center. No. Can't you put the text onto something else? Like another box or something? Yes. Yes. That's... Is that what it was? Now I'm not remembering. I'm sorry. I thought I came up with some way previously. I'll look back on some older videos. I thought I figured it out. Yeah, it is completely completely slipping my mind whether I figured that out or not. I did take a rather long break because I did yeah, I had like 3 or 4 weeks of backlog, and then I burnt through it all. Back to the fuck now! He yelled as they finally jumped and spread out, leaving him alone with the hostages. He shook his head, clutching the shotgun he'd picked for the delete. Let's hop over here. Boom. But yeah, part of it is I've just been using simpler numbers. The shotgun he'd... Please, you're clearly not an animal. Why not let us go? Asked the teller that Jaeger had been looking at. Look, I swear to you, if you keep quiet and stay where you are, you'll get out of this just fine. My crew are a little tense is all. It's the adrenaline. That thug thinks I'm used to being oppressed? The fly girl spoke up. I've never been more oppressed than I am here. Yeah, well that's because you're a red zone fly. You all decided to take the easy path and steal our land. Don't think I got any lost love for you, filth. I just want this job to be clear. For example, in CAD, you can glue something together so they move as one. Can you do the same in the text box? Glue it to something you can center? That is what I'm going to try. But yeah. Not that I can think of right now. I may have solved this problem because I think I mentioned that I did solve it, but now I don't remember how I solved it. Is that what you arched a brow? Just clean. Is that what you think? She arched a brow. I was born in the hospital on 5th. My parents were born there too. We used to travel before the big change, and some places were worse than others. But I used to think coming home I'd be free of all that. And then people like you got in your head. Everyone like me was from overseas. Dementia. I may have had a dementor give me dementia, and now I'm demented. And Dr. Demento retired? Or did he die? I think he retired. Or maybe died. Yeah, you did reply that you did it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought I figured it out. Now I need to go back and discover my lost ancient secret of how I did this. And by ancient, I mean like a month ago. Works. Thankful. Boom. Let me get that to 830. It's 250, 125. Recover the ancient scrolls. Just go into an old HFY video you did and look at it. Yes, that is the plan. That is absolutely the plan. No, it would have been more. That's alright. We'll do it. Should I? You know what? Fine. I'll do it now. We'll do it live! Alright, we did 6 with the new method. We did 5. Alright, so 4 was the last one we did with the old method. Oh, whoops. I'm looking in the wrong place. That's not what I want to be looking at. N, so Creature 5 is definitely the wrong one. I can't believe we're doing something live on a live video. This is unheard of. I know. Can you believe doing things live? Oh, cool. It's just going to open a new window. Fine. I'll reopen Creature 10 here then. And we'll open Creature 5. Okay? So yeah, this was the manual process. Fully manual. Close that. Do not save any changes to 5. 10's been saved. Let's try 6. I now know that you have folders on your PC. Oh no. Oh no, how could I dare have folders on my PC? Alright, so that is also not organized. Do not change. Let's go to 7. That one is too new. I think yeah. Alright, so that was edited. Lovely. Lost, okay, Creature 5, I edited that June 10th. Edited Creature 6 June 10th. And that was edited on July 8th. So let's look for some, June 10th projects. Oh my goodness, put date created. Would be useful. No, date created is not going to help me right here. Definitely need date modified. 610 and Conrad. Date modified. Waging war for fun and profit. Nope. Nope, not here. Wasn't it in Troublemakers? It might have been in Troublemakers, but actually, let me get my privacy screen for just a second. Grab you. And the other place that I can check is in comments. Unity. There, we can turn that off. Response status. I responded. Nope. Oops, forgot the second O. All right, center. We found center. Not the one we're looking for it. Big Z. Oh. Maybe? Nope. That doesn't change it. What do I put? Now that was too much to hope for. Figure? Now that's Phoenix Outback. Nope. Turn off. I don't know why at Zeno gave me Joe the Brick, but hey, Joe the Brick, you got the cameo here. Here we go. All right, 1 month ago. Can I get a date? Nope, not start playing. No. Why do you refuse to do that? Okay. So I was right. I discovered it on June 10th. So I want to go back to my logs here and look at June 10th. It would have been there. Maybe the edit from July 8th will contain the things that I did. Don't have any extra filters, anything else that would make it clear, so I probably didn't put it on here. But we are looking at the right date. No, do not save changes. Okay. But yeah. I'll add date created, 610. That was probably the last thing I did. Let's look at Creature 88. Yeah. Creature 4. Creature 5 doesn't have any, doesn't have the edits that we need. So it's not there. Maybe it's in Troublemakers. Troublemakers, let's look at... We did on 610, 26 to 27, why not? No? That's not even accurate. I honestly didn't even center this one. 112. That totals to 1027 instead of 1080, which is just wrong. Yeah, I don't know what I did. Save. It's from the 10th, which is when I would have figured the trick out. I don't remember what I did. Is the trick just that I used a calculator? This one's at least properly centered, which is nice. But yeah. No, I got no idea what I did. Wait, was it? No, it wasn't one of the presets. Overflow, visible, overflow. Yeah, I got no idea what it is that I did. Which is such a pain, because literally, it was a month and a half ago. There is no reason that I should have forgotten what I did just a month and a half ago. Also, Joe the Brick, have a heart. For all the hate. No, because you used calc before, and also the other one was centered just later. I know. Yippee! Yay! You got a heart. But yeah, honestly, no idea what I did. Waging war for fun and profit. We can close that one as well. There we go. There. 7. We can close that as well. Alt, left, left. I got no idea. We're just gonna have to proceed, and then I'll try to remember what I did. Yeah. Yay. How far along are we? We're a little over halfway, which is crazy. Because we've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Woo. Woo.
One who looked like me. Vincent looked away for a moment. Sorry. Generally, you are. Look, whatever. Soon it won't matter. Once we start moving all the flies out of here, we can go back to being free. Folks like you stop us from voting. Only because the locals were getting overwhelmed by all the flies. Again, once they're gone, we can return to a real democracy. But that's not how it works. Shut the fuck up! Vincent shouted, tired of arguing with the girl, who should be way more thankful. I'm from Red Zone, the pale girl said with an accent.
Frowned. What? $10. Alright. Back to work. Paste. I'm from here. Fly, my home, mine. I'm Vincent. Good.
As he what? You say all flies are from Red Zone. I am Fly. Home has become frozen and changed. The shelters we made were not enough. Many died. We were rescued by ship and brought here. I was given a job, shelter, food. Coming here saved my life and the life of my family. My home is on the ice. You would send me back. My home is underwater, a man said. Mine's a radioactive wasteland. I'm from here, but I'd rather leave with them than stay here with bigots like you. Vincent aimed his shotgun at the hostages. Shut the fuck up! He didn't need to hear this. He didn't need to start thinking about shit like this right now. He needed to focus on the vault and his crew. It was hurting his head to start thinking about why the flies were here. They didn't belong. They'd killed his father. They'd stolen the store from his family through being cheap fucks. He clenched his eyes
for a moment, and then opened them again. Alright, yeah, we're down to 6 pages out of 16, so we're making good progress. Even if it's a tiny bit slower, because I've forgotten the ancient technique of automatically centering. Automatic vertical centering. Of course, it's always nice when it just lines up and you don't even need to do it. Those are the best. And
this is a goddamn bank robbery, not a political debate. We're the good guys. The government is trying to shut us up because they want to steal our land and erase our culture. The good guys want to rape and murder us. And if your culture is being erased, how come all ours get assaulted when we try and practice our own traditions? I said shut the fuck up! He turned the shotgun in his hands and smashed the butt against the skull of the last man who'd spoken. That finally got the hostages to cry out before being quiet. I said you won't die, but if you keep this up, I'll make sure you wish you had. He stormed out of the office. Mr. Green, you better be ready to tell me the vault is open.
It's open, Mr. Pink. Let's try going for 3 paragraphs. See if we can fit all 3 in. Paste back. Yeah, we'll fit. Just need to add an extra line. 880, which makes it an even 100. Don't even need to focus there.
That's good. Mr. Gray and Mr. White, go watch the front. The rest of you start loading the bags. I'm going to check on a few safety deposit boxes. He walked to the back of the vault and opened his own bag. He hooked up the code cracker to the boxes that he'd been told contained the evidence. Inside each of them were large envelopes and some hard drives. He quickly dumped them in his bag and moved on to each one. The last one, though, just contained a police file of some kind, not in an envelope. It had Eric's face, his old name, date of birth, and what? He'd been born in a red zone? He'd moved here when he was young, then had to flee because he was being sought for child molestation? That couldn't be right. Possible homicide as well? No, it was fake. That was the point. They made this all up to blackmail him. They'd done a good job, too, since it looked, felt, and even smelled old. The team was back on schedule, so he quickly zipped up his bag. All right, out the back. The van won't wait. He moved to the office holding the hostages. I turned the heat on so it won't get too cold.
You won't be comfortable, but you'll be fine when someone finds you in the morning. Yes, Also, I hate YouTube. I have dark mode on my phone active and on YouTube, and YouTube just fucked up. My likes are super dark, so can't see them. Comments are damn near pure white on a white background, so Gaia. But yeah, turns out that not only is Eric the Grand Eternal, totally a mid-century German, he's also a chomo. These are not good people. Back. What's that? A chomo? Right in the middle there. That is a chomo. Don't know where you get the first O from, but yeah. Yes. Oh. Oh, indeed. 400, so 95. I guess the solution was also just practice my my mental math. I used to be really sharp at it. I haven't had to use mental math in a long time, but now I get to train those muscles. Oh, I just call them practice dummies for new weapons. Ah, see, there's a good one. I'm gonna find you. And what about all the people who lost their life savings? I don't give a fuck. You never did answer, the pale teller said. Would you send me home to die on ice? Vincent looked away again. I'm sure we'd make exceptions for people who come from areas that aren't habitable anymore. And you think there are redstones that are habitable? Someone said. Vincent paused and then just shut the door, locking them inside. He walked out with the crew, then into the van, and off they went. The others were all cheering and hollering about the job done. But he was quiet. Keep going. Now those are actually not people. Yes. Paste. There. Do we just have the two paragraphs? Just the two paragraphs, and the next one's too big to keep going. 624, get you to 640. We need to add 440, so 220. But he was quiet. They got back to the hideout, and he told them all to go celebrate. He'd guard the money. No one argued. Once they were gone, he opened his bag, pulling out the fake evidence that was inside. He should just start burning and destroying it. Instead, he opened the first envelope. Inside were pictures. It took him a moment to figure out what he was looking at, and when he did, he wished he hadn't. Oh, God. He flipped through them quickly and felt sick. The next envelope held more of the same. He recognized the politicians that Eric had supported for various local positions. The kids he didn't recognize, but they looked like flies. No, they looked like refugees. After seeing these pictures, he couldn't think of them as flies. They were kids. And what was going on in the pictures? The only thing that kept him from hunting those politicians right now was the fact that he had more evidence in the bag to go through. So yeah, and if you... politicians are also a different species. Yes. Yeah, so if this thing wasn't going dark enough, it is going even darker. Go through. Copy there. Here, speaking of dark. Boom. Isn't that also an HFY story? It is. It is Memories of Creature 88. One of the, you now know my secret hotkey to turn on the dark face. It's 3. It's literally 3. But yeah, Memories of Creature 88. It's one of the more famous, I mean, it's one of the classics of HFY. 690, get you 400, 195. More evidence. He steeled himself as he opened up more envelopes. Now he was looking at pictures of some of his enforcers. Military trial evidence for discharge. Slaughtered villages. Executed prisoners. Kill trophies. These were the men he just told to go celebrate. The people he'd been working with and fighting beside. He thought they were bashing skulls for a greater good. That what they did was terrible, but necessary. Now he wasn't so sure that's why they did it. He plugged in the hard drives. More pictures. And also some reports.
military units who tell refugees that the price of being rescued involved their wives, sisters, or daughters, making examples of those who resisted, looting, pillaging ancient historical sites. He found more pictures of the politicians, more sick, twisted acts with refugees who didn't look willing. He felt sick to his stomach. This had to be fake, right? He came across some emails. That was his dad's name.
He clicked on it. Ah, I know people who will pay handsomely for this info. Our hero puts it to better use. Clicked on it. Here, we can do 3 paragraphs. Maybe we can even fit a 4th. No, I think just the 3. Oh, no, it is 4. Perfect.
His dad's clicked on it. Eric, you stay away from us. You might have been my friend once, but not anymore. I heard about what you did. Just because the new government forgave some old crimes doesn't mean I did. I don't care if we're both citizens of the same country now or not. It's all lies. The school wanted to toss me out, so they made it all up. You're the only one who believes them. I might keep what I know to myself, but that's the last favor our friendship will get you. I don't want my wife or my son to even know about you. That's the best I can do. Stay away, Eric. Vincent clicked on the next string he found. The last one. If you don't give me the money I want,
I'll tell your chief enforcer about your past. Well, I was going to try to look for the specific story, but I get greeted by AI trash. Yes, that is how you spell greeted. It's just about 1 a.m., but I just want to be able to finish this story before we wrap up things up. So close you.
money I want. Chief enforcer about your past. You won't believe it. He's loyal to me now, even if his father was an idiot. He couldn't see the opportunities. He's...
What now? I did an oops. Wait, what? No. It didn't copy. That's what happened. There. Paste and paste. And we need to add a little bit. Take you to 740. And tune you down to, we would need to add 340, so 170. Perfect. Call your chief enforcer.
You won't believe it. He's loyal to me now, even if his father was an idiot. He couldn't see the opportunities, and he suffered for it. Did you really have his dad killed? He was an idiot, but he was my friend. No, I didn't kill him, but my revenge is all the more sweet. His son calls me father now. He's been molded into the perfect symbol of our new movement, and he won't turn it against me. He will soon see the power I can wield, and he will be addicted to it. He's strong. He knows the strong survive. I'm sure he'll agree that the only point of the weak is to serve the strong and die. I'll offer him anything he wants. Girls, boys, animals if he wants. I don't care. Either way,
he can't reach me, and if you don't pay, I'll make sure he sees everything. Also, when you discover how you center, please comment it on your comment. Will do. Absolutely will do when I uncover my own hidden secrets. Alright, but yeah, we've just got 4 pages, and that 4th page is barely anything. Everything. Perfect. Always lovely when they fit in the exact same one.
I'll make sure. And he won't believe you. The emails were between the Great Eternal and one of the party officials from another city. This wasn't fake. This was the movement he helped create. That was going to sweep the election soon. Vincent began to cry. He cried as long and as hard as he had over the body of his father in that alley 16 years ago. He got up, stuffed everything back into the bag, and then tossed all the bags into the van. He dried his tears and composed himself as he drove to Eric's house. The guards outside snapped to attention as he approached, and he nodded to them. He quickly moved inside, upstairs into Eric's room. He shook the man awake. Vincent, what time is it? The job is done.
Excellent, my boy. Cue, Zelda King. My boy! AVI? Maybe .mp3? One of the two. There we are.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, this peace is what all true warriors strive for.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
Okay, whatever. This is like when you make a secret language as a kid and then you rediscover it as a teen or adult. Yep. And it turns out that the secrets successfully worked because your adult self doesn't remember how to read it. It's done.
Excellent, my boy.
Excellent, my boy. Alright. Let's get all of that. Boom, 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 and boom. I, Eric, several excellent Eric. I, Eric, several excellent Eric. Alright. $30, $250, $125. All true, didn't think of it like that. Excellent, my boy.
Brought the evidence. We need to talk. Eric's smile didn't fade like Vincent had expected. Instead, he pulled on a robe and walked with him to his study. Did the vault heist bear fruit? Several million. Excellent. Then funding is assured, and with the evidence, nothing will hold us back. Eric, it's not fake. There's no way that stuff is fake. Eric smiled and faltered. He just patted Vincent on the shoulder. No, it's not. But I couldn't reveal that until you had it. It's important for us to have so we can use it to keep the others in check. I trust you, obviously, but the others might start to turn on.
Might start to turn on us someday.
And they'll never dare try anything.
Or we'll turn the people against them. Right. Delete down to 3 pages. Let's see if we can get all 4 of these squeezed in. $33.50, $175. Ugh, why this dude ain't going 2x when I say so? Lame. By this dude, do you mean me? Why my live stream isn't going at 2x? I mean, if you want, I can talk to 2x if you want, but I really can't hold it off for a long time. I'm no Ben Shapiro. I can't do the whole 2x speaking in normal life thing. Or we'll turn the...
You knew what they did? The kids? The villagers in the red zones? All the horrible things? Most of my high-ranking enforcers are butchers, rapists, war criminals. Eric's smile finally faded.
Subtract. Take it down to 690, 400, 195. Criminals. Eric's smile finally faded and he looked stern.
Vincent felt, despite being a few inches taller than Eric. Vincent, I taught you better than that. Your high-ranking enforcers are also highly motivated and highly skilled soldiers. They're strong and will only get stronger. The strong take what they want. If the weak can't stop them, then they don't deserve any better. Kids! Vincent yelled. How the fuck do kids defend themselves from things like that? Not them, but their parents, their kin. If they couldn't stop what happened to their children,
that's just what nature intended. Eric is fucking evil. OMG, what's wrong with this 2x? He's having a stroke in front of me. Stupid YouTube. Oh, no, you meant to hit 2x, but you actually hit 15x. 50%. Right. Copy. Paste. Shelter. Food. Home. And Vincent, well, slaves. Boom. This video is weird. I want a refund for my $0. 9. No refund for you. What a weird video.
Children, nature intended. Vincent's hands curled into fists. My father died trying to protect me from muggers. And you were all right, weren't you? All you suffered was a bump on the head. Vincent, you need to calm down. In a few weeks, our movement will sweep the elections. Then we'll start changing things for the better. Only locals will have real jobs, and the flies will start being our servants. Vincent was quiet for a moment before he spoke. We're not sending them home. Well, sure, we can do...
No. Okay, that is freaking weird. That's why. When it renders, that one got an extra line. Okay, that's fine. We'll just bump that up to 730. Perfect. Which means 350, which means 175. YouTube the SpongeBob mocking.
them home. Oh, sure, we can do some of that too. And of course, kill those who resist. But most of them are better used as cheap servants. Fuck.
Free servants.
Shelter and food. Slaves. Most of them are better used. Fuck. Free servants. They'll be paid in shelter and food.
Slaves. The 3/4 part of Eric are definitely conspiring against the final quarter of him. YouTube the SpongeBob mocking. No, they put it into YouTube. Watch the vid. SpongeBob mocking. Fine.
Imitation. No problem.
Nah. Is it this one? It's just him copying. I'm trying to find the one of him,
Sandy?
We all know the meme. We all know what it looks like.
Hey, someone's at the door. I can't wait to imitate him. Oh, hello, Patrick. And Sandy? And Squidward? And Mr. Krabs? Plankton too? 5 at once, huh? Okay. You can do it!
Still not the one we're looking for. Here it is. SpongeBob.
Oh, SpongeBob, can you come here, please?
I couldn't find that watch anywhere. All I found was this stuff.
I fell in.
And that guy.
What do you think of Mr. Krabs' new plaid kilt?
Lad?
Hey!
Well, you don't have to be nasty about it.
Magnificent. What a weird video. All right, final 2 pages. We're almost at the end. The end is near. Repent, for the end is near.
Food. It's the natural order.
Have you heard of the guy that was, this delay is insane. Sorry about the delay. Nothing I can do about it. Have you heard of the joke about the guy that saw that was holding a sign that said, "Turn back, the end is near," and you're insane. Yeah, turn back, the end is near. And there's just a bunch of people in cars driving past him. And a guy goes up to the guy holding a sign and he says, "Dude, that's not the way you should write to stop because the bridge is out." Slaves.
Natural order of things, Vincent. I'll let you pick whoever you want, even if they aren't from a red zone. We'll just tell people they were. Any woman, any girl you desire. Your mother will be waited on hand and foot. She'll never want for anything again. Besides, you really haven't lived until you've truly tasted the sweet victory of forcing yourself upon the weak. It's truly a grand experience. He set his hand on Vincent's shoulder. Eternal evolution. I've always been there for you since your father died. You've trusted me all these years. Trust me now. He smiled. Vincent looked into the face of his god, the man he worshipped, idolized, served. He was charismatic and handsome. He'd surely sweep the votes and usher in a new era. Things would change. The locals would get their voice back, and Vincent and his mother would be living in the lap of luxury for the rest of their lives. They'd establish a government where the strong thrived and the weak were used however the strong desired. This was the vision of his adopted father, of his god.
Vincent stabbed him in the throat. And now begins Vincent's redemption arc. What games do I play? I am playing, basically the only games I play are the games that I stream. I just finished playing Case of the Golden Idol. Absolutely amazing. Aside from that, I've been playing SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. Good. Took him long enough. Yes, took him long enough to stab Eric in the throat, but he did it. Hooray! Redemption arc begins. SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. It's a mobile game, gacha game, but it's fun. I am playing a Data Live Arusu Install, which is a visual novel in the Data Live series, which kind of explains why I've got this dude here with the wings and no longer the half-shaded face. I also play was playing Crush, but I've pretty much beat that aside from the new DLC that just dropped. But it's fun. Press X to doubt. No, it is actually fun. Definitely enjoyable. And I've been playing Senran Kagura Peach Ball lately. But yes, if you want to see what I have been playing, there is a very, very simple way of doing that. Nope, not there. Here. Good. View channel. Copy. All you gotta do is head over there. Break into your house while you play OFC. No, just take a peek at my gaming channel. That's all you need to do. Alternatively, we can also just go to my calendar. Yeah. Hooray, it's Monday already. Need to upload chapter 9 before too late. I'm gonna need to record like a warning to attach to the start of chapter 10 though. Install a keylogger on his computer to see. No, that would capture my passwords. Keyloggers are bad. All right. Vincent stabbed him in the throat. Good job, Vincent. Nope, do not move. Paste. Paste. 680. Does it look good? It looks stuck. Go. 680, which lets us do an even 200. Hooray. True, also a valid method, although I myself prefer the breaking and entering, but to each their own. Yeah, see, the problem with breaking and entering is that, it's all fun in games until you hear
Vincent stabbed him, and Eric's eyes went wide as he clutched the wound. Red blood flowing out from between his fingers as Vincent then stabbed him again and again and again, until Eric collapsed to the floor. Vincent stood over him, watching the dying man slowly flop around. It looks like I'm stronger than you, Eric. Whatever you were dreaming of wasn't evolution. It wasn't about improving humanity, and it dies with you. The light faded from Eric's eyes, and the Great Eternal was no more. Vincent walked out of the house, pulling a sidearm as he shot the first guard in the back of the head. The others turned, but Vincent already had his weapon drawn, and made quick work of them. There had just been a light guard tonight, since they hadn't expected any trouble. Vincent got into the van, driving as fast as he could to get home. He rushed up the stairs, opening his
dresser, which woke her up. Vincent? Until you hear, the only thing they fear is you. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Or no, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Was that a FDR quote? Yep, was FDR. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. But yeah, FDR, terrible president. He's a man that would not stand for his own country. I don't know about that, Chief. I definitely fear Doomslayer. That's easy. Just be Catholic. He won't kill you then. Plus, it gives protection from demons. Let's see if we can do 630. Perfect. Fires 450, so we can just do 225. Just be human. Yeah. But yeah. Yes, Doom Guy is canonically depicted as a celibate Catholic in the Doom video game series. This aspect of his character is mentioned in companion novels and confirmed by the game's developer.
Vince, we gotta go, Mom. Someplace else. Anywhere else. Just not here. He grabbed armfuls of clothes, running downstairs, tossing them in the van, and then running back upstairs. His mother was groggy, but she'd pulled on some clothes as he took another armful of her things. Vincent, honey, what's going on? What's going on? Can't explain right now. He ran back downstairs, tossed more clothes in the back, and then got in, heavily leaning on the horn until she finally came outside and got in the van. Then he slammed on the gas, making his mom jerk in her seat as she tried to get her seatbelt on. Vincent, you're scaring me.
It's so close, so close. Last page. Whoa there, what's next? I can't kill people too? No, don't kill people. No killing people. Up you, do we want to do, nope. No, we'll go for 590, 500, 250, 245.
You're scared. Sorry, Mom, but we gotta go right now. He was speeding into town, and thankfully it was in the very early morning. Almost no one else was here. He screeched to a halt in front of one of the few remaining newspapers. He knew they sided with the refugees. They hated the eternal evolutionaries. He pulled out a bunch of the hard drives and envelopes, running into the main lobby and tossing them at the surprised receptionist inside, before running back out into the van. Then he drove to the police HQ. This time he didn't stop. He called out and saw a few cops on the street look his way, before tossing the bag out the window, before speeding up and driving away. He drove hard then. He got out of the city as fast as possible, and he made it out to the darker back roads.
Finally started to cry again. Maybe second to last here? 672. We could do. Nah, we should do 690. 400. So 195.
He finally started. His mother was staring at him from the passenger seat, obviously confused and worried. When I was.
Murder is bad? No! Boo, boo, lame, boring.
You weren't scared for me. You were scared of me. You wanted me to stop hurting people, to try and be more like you and Dad and help those in need. Is this what this is about, sweetie? He shook his head, tears and snot running down his face. No, but I realized it tonight. I fucked up bad, Mom. I fucked up bad for all those years. I just wanted to provide for you, to make Dad proud. Honey, Dad was always proud of you. What you've done, I'm not sure he'd be proud of that, but he'd be proud of you even so. He'd know you'd see the light sooner or later.
Alright, delete. Come on, grab everything. Fit everything into this last one. Cool. It will. We'll need to expand it a tiny bit, but it will. Vincent nodded. His mom, Vincent, no. $768, we'll just call that an even $780, and those guys will be $150. And we did it. All these, murder is bad, don't do it. People, when you break into their house with the intent to kill. Yeah.
No, you'd see the light. Vincent nodded as he drove out through the dark countryside, now a good distance from the city.
Oh. We had the same issue happen again. Alright. Bump it up to 830 and change you to 125.
See the light soon. Vincent nodded as he drove out through the dark countryside, now a good distance from the city. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm really sorry. I won't hurt good people again. I swear. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll try and make things right. I'll protect the weak. I won't let good people get bullied. We'll go somewhere away from here, and I'll figure out how to do that, and we'll live together and be happy. I've been spending way too much time away from you, Mom. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. His mom was about to say something when a bright light hit them as they drove. Vincent cursed and nearly swerved. What the fuck was that? The police? The military? Were the enforcers after him? Vincent opened his eyes and saw a very concerned dragon looking down on him. Mock had sat on the ground and pulled Vincent into his lap, trying to cradle him and support his head while he'd been lost in his memories. Are you okay? No.
Vincent said very quietly as he began to cry. And so the flashback concludes. Woo! We can remove that. And I will need to go back and render this later. Hypocrites, the lot of them! I accidentally made a satellite in a game that constantly re-enters the atmosphere at this one point in its orbit, so it keeps burning. Thank goodness I added heat shields. Hypocrites! Joe, are you playing Kerbal Space Program or something? Because normally I don't think just adding a heat shield is going to be enough, but the weirdness of Kerbal Space Program, I might let you get away with that. Oh, nah, playing some mobile game. Ah, okay. Please, not number 2. What do you mean, Xenomorph? I don't need to go to the bathroom right now. Definitely not number 2. I've already gone number 2 earlier. Oh yeah, unfortunately, it is 1:20 a.m. I got work in the morning, so yeah. This is where we wrap things up. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Xenomorph, for hanging out. If I'm correct, some did make a thing that orbits Kerbin that never leaves the atmosphere. Oh boy. But that just sounds like a plane. Knew he was going to be confused. Anyway. Do we want to raid anybody? Let's see if there's, But yeah. Mystic Blade Works, Joe the Brick, and Xenomorph. Thank the 3 of you guys for hanging out, even if, Mystic Blade Works dropped quite a while ago. It orbits on Bow Red. English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Or perhaps it orbits unpowered. There we go. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Alright. I'm gonna hop over here and turn ads off to normal so we don't forget for the start of the next stream. We don't actually have anybody hanging out on the Twitch side, so no point rating on Twitch. Nobody's hanging out on the Rumble side, so no point there either. So yeah, we'll just wrap the stream up. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Okay. Does it show here how long we were streaming for? Yeah, from 11. Ugh. 2.5 hours. That stinks. Yeah, they don't like you, bro. I know. So sad. Very sad. And Joe, you read my mind. Very sad. Okay. Nothing else? Nothing else. Thank you for hanging out. Xenomorph, I will comment if I ever figure out, what the trick that I did to figure out the centering was. But yeah. 2.5 hours just to edit one single video. That sucked. Sucked so much. And that's why I only release one episode of Creature 88 per week. Because it takes a long time. And basically it's either hanging out with you guys on stream to not get bored, or listening to a podcast, but pausing every time that I switch between doing work and listening to the next frame. Have a good night. Have a good night, Green Edgeworth. Thank you. Green Edgeworth says thank you. So long, goodbye. Yep. Okie dokie. See you guys. But yeah, I mean, it was a 45-minute episode. It's definitely longer than what I usually do. My long episodes are usually about half an hour. Sometimes a little bit less. But this one went 47 minutes. Yeah. Or no, 45. 45 minutes and 40 seconds. And I still need to record a warning at the beginning. Alright, enough talking. Goodbye, good night. Hasta la bye-bye.